Here we go. If you're seeing this, I have disabled my access to my and LOTFP's Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram accounts. I'm not sure exactly how I'm going to handle YouTube yet, but that's coming. But there is stuff there I very much like. The one remaining official LOTFP place online will be lotfp.substack.com, and the lotfp.com domain will soon point there. Basically, any platform or website with an algorithm that says, we think you'll be interested in this other online content, has to go. At the top level, there is a fundamental conflict of how I want to use these platforms and how the platforms operate. As a business, I want to use these sites to entice people to go somewhere else to buy my stuff. As a private user, I want to see what cool things other people are doing, which means getting off the site I'm looking at to buy their stuff. But the goal of the platforms is to keep people on the platforms. To me, as a business or a customer, engagement means clicking away from these sites. To these platforms, engagement means keeping you there, and they discourage and disincentivize any effort to get people off their sites. One way they keep people on site is by showing you a feed of content where they use what they know about you. And they know a lot. Their entire business model is dependent on figuring out what you interact with online. But what's put in the feeds, well, they're not just throwing random things at you. The algorithm not only learns what you interact with, and what you interact with and what you like are not necessarily the same things. Negative interaction is still interaction, so if there's something that really pisses you off that draws you in, these platforms will show you a whole lot more of that. So it not only learns what you interact with, but these platforms also learn what content gets most interacted with. And people who do stuff online, other people anyway apparently, they learn how these algorithms work. Sometimes their methods of learning the algorithms are sophisticated, sometimes it's just aping what already successful channels do. But because people doing stuff online want that stuff to be seen, they will tailor, or as I would put it, warp, what they put online to take advantage of the algorithm, and it is the people who do this who will be seen more by unlucky people like me. So, being on the internet these days means being barraged by that fake digital noise, resulting in a hijacked brain and so much wasted time. I mean, I spend so much of my real-life conversations talking about all the stupid shit I see online. My brain has been totally fucked on all of this. I mean, yeah, the business model of these platforms is to learn what I like and then package all of the AI nonsense, Wikipedia and aggregator fan channel slop, algorithm chasers, engagement farmers, clickbait fucks, trolls, and meme posters that are supposedly related to my interests, and blast them right in my face. And I recognize nothing about what I love in any of this. In fact, being exposed to this makes me like everything I love less, because it makes me believe that so many other people that enjoy the same things I do are completely plastic, fake, stupid fucks. Never mind how all this has just like fucked politics and real world things right in the ass, you know? It's digital pollution and mental manipulation. All of it. All of it. Everything online. Every single thing is tainted by this. Every single fucking thing. Even if you're conscious of it and not wanting to do it, that awareness and not wanting is still manipulating how you behave online. And it's like there are no more people actually online. Having a channel or an account makes you a brand. So people act like brands instead of people. Getting those views and likes, maybe it's just a dopamine hit. Maybe that means clout. Maybe it actually means financial rewards. So, hey, chase those views and likes. Poke that drama. Optimize for the algorithm. Have topics you don't give a fuck about, as long as it drives engagement. And police your language. Don't ever say or do anything that might cause problems with the algorithms or the likes. The result? No more people. Just accounts inventing and selling the brand versions of themselves. And if everyone is a brand, then everything, every last thing that they say is basically advertising for their brand. Which would mean that every last public conversation you see online, you're basically looking at competing ad campaigns, interacting. Or at least that's all I see when I observe any online interactions at all anymore. People aren't trying to interact with people. They're interacting with the algorithm and playing to an audience. Analytics and reactions, not personal interest, drive decisions and actions online. There's nothing human in any of this. Nothing. At all. Zero humanity. Even the accounts that don't have a ton of AI slop, and yes, I am using the word slop. Sometimes the hot new cliche term is actually useful. Even the accounts that don't have a ton of AI slop might as well have. Social media algorithms make people behave like bots. And I know I'm not the biggest fan of humans, largely because of the kind of behavior that social media promotes and encourages, but I am a fan of authenticity, and I say fuck these machines. I mean, look at all the goddamn pile of shit that the internet as a whole has turned into. And it's just like, fuck me. I mean, I've never been a social person. And I have limited interaction with the real world, and it's been like that my whole life. In the real early days of my life, that just meant a retreat into fantasy. Books, movies, role-playing games. But then in 1993, I think it was, might have been early 92, I first got online. And there I could feel social without really having to be social. Over 30 years of this now. 30 years of being the slowly boiled frog that only now realizes, it's fucking hot in here. But it was different back in the day. Even though I was interacting with other misfits, assholes, idiots, and retards, and if you were online in 92, 93, those were the available options to interact with. But they were real people. They weren't self-branding, not the way it is now. There was no incentive to do so. Even if they had a funny name. Hell, I had a funny name online. But the whole thing was unfiltered people. It was vibrant. It was alive. You can say all the things and talk about all the things you couldn't see on TV or in the movies, or stuff you couldn't talk about with the people you knew in real life. And no one could do fuck all about it. But also, if you found out about some book, some movie, some band or album, you had to get the fuck off the internet and go find it in real life. If you were interacting with a person and wanted to do something than actually type at them, you had to get the fuck off the internet and maybe make a phone call or actually leave the goddamn house and meet them somewhere. Which, the reason back then you were online in the first place is because you, or these days, is you don't like doing that. But it's not good to never do that. I mean, the internet back then was a gateway for introverts to find those rare good things that exist in the real goddamn world. Gateway, not destination. So, I mean, forget social media. Broadband internet as a whole has been a fucking disaster. Because the internet has swallowed the entire world. And I was here for it. Took advantage of it. Hell, I engage in every single behavior I complain about, which actually makes everything more unacceptable and more important to get the fuck out. I mean, you know what I never ever, ever want to do in my entire life again? Scroll on a social media feed. Not one more time, not ever. Not just Facebook and Twitter and those sorts. I mean Netflix or Spotify. Not that I ever used that one. You know, all that too. The streaming services. Fuck. Even YouTube, which is going to be hell because there's stuff I actually like there. But to hell with all of that. And the only way to do that, for me at least, is to get the fuck off these sites entirely. Block myself from being able to ever even look at them. That's it. Nothing else is really going to do. I mean, everything I've been talking about here that makes me crazy, and it has been making me crazy, it's me as a user having the online experience ruined for all of my non-professional interests. Heavy metal, horror movies, comedy, pro wrestling, you name it. If I have an interest, social media can make me hate it. But what about my professional activities? How will getting off social media affect Lamentations of the Flame Princess? And I don't think I really care. If getting away from all the digital waste means I can't keep doing what I'm doing, I guess I'll have to do something else. LOTFP has thousands of followers across all these platforms, often thousands of followers on the individual platforms. But whenever I post anything, they're only seen by a fraction of the people supposedly following us. YouTube sometimes has breakouts. So I'm really not even sure what use the platforms are. The last time I brought this up, I was told I don't engage enough on the platforms myself to benefit my own posts, which makes me want to use the platforms less, not more. If my methods of blocking my access work, I'll leave the existing accounts up with a final post with this video and a note where to find us now for updates. But I honestly don't know if it would make any real difference if I just deleted them all. The fact that I won't see any chatter, I'll be completely ignorant of the hot topics of conversation, what the latest debates and controversies are, what the digital public likes or cares about. Good. Well, for one thing, once the online norm became that personal opinions were expected to be democratized, I was always going to do poorly in that sort of environment, especially once the drones started with that vote you off the island bullshit. I'm not so much interested in who's good, who's bad, who said what, who's friends with who, all that gossip shit. I see it every day I'm online, in every sphere of interest, and I'm sick of it. The enforcement of conformity and consensus is such a malignant force in any creative field, as a fan or a producer. And frankly, if I'm disgusted by the online content and comments pertaining to my interests that I'm simply a fan of, just imagine how I feel about that goddamn sludge in the field I've made my life's work. It's just like, fuck all this shit. Nothing anyone says on social media is important to anything real. You may think it is, people treat it as if it is, but anyone engaging in any of that, including me, is being a narcissistic asshole 100% of the time. And anyone paying attention to any of it is damaging their brain just as bad as if they were sniffing glue. That's going to be the bit that people will want to argue about, but I'll just delete those emails. See, we're all primates. And the monkey brains and the deeper lizard brains, and I know those are metaphorical, they're in all of us, influencing our thoughts and behavior. But we're also human beings, and our real power is the ability to step back and say no to our primal nature. So all of those psychological urges we've inherited down through the ages that social media hijacks, be it tribal belonging or its mirror impulse outgroup demonization, the peacocking, the status seeking, whatever it is, I can see it clearly when it's people I don't know in a scene I'm not in. And I can see how counterproductive it is to actually doing anything lasting or worthwhile or real. It's more difficult to clearly see when it's people I know and environments that I exist in, or if it's me. But it's there and it happens all the time. And I don't want to be a party to any of it. I don't want to be a witness to any of it. Not anymore. Which is a fool's wish to a stupid primate like myself, but I can at least make the decision to no longer mainline all that shit directly into my brain. But what about keeping up on my industry? Well, LOTFP is an old school Renaissance game. Not giving a flying fuck about what's hip and happening is sort of baked into the very foundation of that. And honestly, I've only bought or traded for 2 RPG books this year. I would have bought a third, but they didn't have a shipping option to Finland, and now I can't even remember what it was. My inspiration for what I do with LOTFP these days are mostly outside the goings-on of role-playing. People used to get inspiration for RPGs from the books they read, the movies they saw. These days it all seems to be about, well, how does that game roll the dice? Which is always the least interesting part of any role-playing game. I take my inspiration from music, movies, and books. I don't know where online that isn't full of bullshit, to find new books these days. But I don't need social media to find out about new music and new movies. I know where to find out about those from sources that don't flood me with the usual online shit or clickbait sites that call themselves news sites. And once I find stuff that seems promising, I buy physical copies. Because digital and streaming product are for cunts. And don't worry, LOTFP will still make PDF versions available of things. I know that cunts are a sizable and lucrative market demographic, and we will not abandon you cunts. And yes, physical copies. For example, you know what streaming has done to the music business? There is no music business. Musicians don't make money selling music anymore. They write advertising jingles for their clothing line. A concert is now a traveling pop-up shop for micro-brand fashion. That is what is economically happening in music. Did I say that right? That is what is economically happening in music. So, fuck this world. And I'm simply not going to miss out on anything important by dropping out of the digital social sphere. Whether LOTFP will go out of sight, out of mind then, well... So if you want to keep up on updates, sales, new releases, blah blah, whatever, go over to lotfp.substack.com and bookmark it, or sign up to the mailing list, please. The plan is to use the mailing list every week or two and link back to whatever I've posted since the last mail. I will not be sending the email out on every post. If you don't want to keep up on anything, well, cool. Bye. Why Substack? The mailing list function, most importantly. Also, the ability to have a web page that looks halfway decent without having to know how to do it or pay someone who does. The allowance of artistic nudity, we'll see about that, so I won't get my Facebook account suspended for a week for showing art I commissioned or a still from a movie that's relevant to what I'm doing. It'll basically be like the old blog, but with better functionality. The only reason I stopped using the old blog as the main vehicle for LOTFP promotion and went over to G+ and social media, to begin with, was functionality. Blogger was old and creaky even by the early 2010s. But Substack does have in their terms of service the following, quote, marketing and promotion. Substack is intended for high-quality editorial content, not conventional email marketing. Shit. We don't permit publications whose primary purpose is to advertise external products or services, drive traffic to third-party sites, distribute offers and promotions, enhance search engine optimization, or similar activities. Brands and commercial organizations publishing on Substack may be subject to additional verification. That's no problem. So in order to not run afoul of Substack's terms of service, the LOTFP Substack will also be hosting original content. A team is being assembled for this purpose. Contact us if you'd like to submit a column. To make sure this section doesn't turn into the same garbage as is everywhere on the internet, we will have 3 rules for this material. Number 1, the writing must have gaming interest and or value in and of itself. Its purpose is not to advertise RPG product. Number 2, AI may not be used to generate any writing or art. Number 3, it is not to address or be relevant to any current debates, controversies, personalities, or hot topics. None of these things matter to anything important. The column should be of evergreen interest, just as interesting, hopefully, goals to read in 5 years as it is today. So that should satisfy Substack's terms of service and not contribute to any more, not contribute any more to the problems I'm trying to get away from. And I know that Substack has a certain reputation in some circles, so I just want to say, thank fucking God there's a platform that doesn't seem to react to whatever the moral panic or pressure of the day is. Long live platforms that don't take sides and allow people from every artificially constructed online identity to have a place to spew their nonsense. We'll see how long that lasts. And no Substack page I've ever visited has ever had an algorithm telling me what other Substacks I should also check out. Doesn't seem to happen. If I don't like an author or a page on the platform, I just don't go there. Yeah, Substack occasionally sends out, hey, check these out emails, but what fucking idiot ever even opens emails like that? Unfortunately, Substack still has view counters and likes on posts, and I wish it didn't. I don't want what I do, what I post, to be influenced by analytics or stats. It's unnatural and results in a worse experience for everyone. Likes, views, and comments shouldn't be publicly visible, and you should be able to turn them off as an account owner. Shouldn't be visible anywhere in the internet as far as I am concerned. So, bye-bye, fuckers. Hasn't been very nice knowing you.